Hello and welcome to yoga. I've got Frankie here today who is going to have a little yoga stretch. Are you going to have a rest while we do our yoga, Frankie? Are you going to rest while we do our yoga? Oh, okay. Oh, maybe not. So I think it might be time for Frankie just to go into his bed while we carry on with our yoga class today. So let's begin. Sitting however you feel comfortable. So your legs may be crossed. You may take your legs out straight if that feels more comfortable. Or sometimes it might be nice just to sit on the knees. I think I'll start there today. If you've got any trouble with the knees, we can still do this if we maybe put a cushion under our seat or a rolled up blanket. So choose whatever feels comfortable for you. And then possibly closing the eyes or just fixing your gaze on something ahead of you that's not moving. And then just noticing how you feel. So any sensations around in the body. Anything that might feel a little tight or tense. See if you can just soften a little. And then just start to notice your breath. Noticing the rhythm and pace of your breath. So maybe you're breathing fast or slow, maybe deep or shallow, maybe smooth or jagged, maybe something different. Just be curious, explore, dive inside and get to know how you're really feeling. Your breath will tell you. Your breath is a beautiful barometer of your being. And then just see if we can take a nice smooth inhale through the nose. And a long deep exhale through the nose or the mouth. Taking one more like that. And our next in-breath, let's hold it for a pause. And then release it. At the end of the breath, pause. And then just repeat that a few more times. And then if your eyes are closed, slowly open your eyes. And then we'll all meet up in staff pose with our legs out straight. And our hands just a little way behind, so maybe tented fingers if you've got short hands like me. Maybe palms flat on the floor if that feels comfortable. My palms don't quite reach. Or maybe just taking the hands onto the thighs if you prefer. And we're going to do the Pavatmuktasana series, sometimes called the joint freeing series. And it's a really nice way to warm up before we begin a yoga practice. It's a nice thing to do on its own in the morning or the evening. So we just begin by sitting up nice and tall, just allowing the natural curves of the spine to be as they are. Softening the shoulders. And then just looking to the toes. Noticing one foot is a bit further forward than the other, maybe they're the same. Just observe. Maybe noticing the right leg and then the left leg. Maybe they feel same or different. And then we'll begin. And the first move is to curl the toes up really tight. And then just to spread the toes out nice and wide. So just trying to keep the feet still and only moving the toes. And you can coordinate this with your breath. So you can inhale to scrunch and exhale to stretch. And we do about 5 to 10 depending on whether you're using the breath or whether you want to move faster or slower. And then make this your last one and then just relax the legs. Just observe, has there been any change in the way that your legs and feet rest? Is there any change in the way that the legs feel? And then we'll move on to the next series, point the toes away from us. And then we're going to flex the feet. So the heels come off and the toes, we point back towards us. So we point and flex. And then maybe we coordinate it with the breath, inhaling to point, exhaling to flex. And then again, we'll do between 5 or 10. If you're breathing slow, your movements might be slower, or maybe you'd quite like to move them quite quickly. And then rest. Notice how those feet feel, how they look. Are they more balanced now? Or are they still a little way apart? Doesn't matter, we're just observing. And then we're going to start moving the toes around. Imagine the toes are pencils and you're drawing circles with the toes. So we start to move into the ankles now. And then move in the opposite direction. So it doesn't matter whether you started anti-clockwise or clockwise and then back to that first direction and then into the opposite direction. So we've been round a couple of times. And then relax, gazing at the feet. Is there any change in the way that your feet fall? And now my personal favourite, knee cranking. So we take the hands around the back of the right thigh, just above the knee. And we slide the knee towards us, so the heel comes towards us. And then we slowly straighten, so we might not fully straighten, that might be as straight as it's going to go. And then we lower, not quite to the ground. And then we bring that knee again in towards us. And then we straighten and lower. And we bring it nice and close into the chest. And then we can continue to move in this way, or we can add a little flick. So as you inhale, lean the knee towards you. As you exhale, we flick and lower. So you might not do it with the breath, you might want to just bring it in, flick and lower. And we'll do again, always between 5 and 10. And then we'll just rest that leg down. And now, let's notice how the right leg feels, how the left leg feels. Maybe look down, maybe they look different. Maybe they don't, and it doesn't matter. We're just observing. And then we're going to take the hands around the left thigh. Slide that heel towards you, knee towards you. Slowly straighten and lower, not quite to the ground. And then we're going to repeat this a few more times. Maybe you can hear literally your knee cranking. You can certainly hear this one. And this is what I scientifically refer to as my dodgy knee. Maybe you've got one too. And then we're going to bring the knee towards us. And a little flick if you'd like to, and lower. Maybe you don't like that flick, maybe it doesn't feel right. And then if so, we just move into those nice smooth movements. Last one. And then we take the feet down. And then let's just rest in your resting position, wherever that is. And just notice how the legs feel. So close your eyes or gaze towards something that's not moving. And then we're going to move into the hips. So I'll just turn around towards you now. And we're going to take the soles of the feet together, coming into butterfly flutters. So we do about 50 of these. So I'm not really going to count, but we need to move quite quick. If they were slow, we'd be here for quite a long time. So just sitting upright, lifting the sternum, softening the shoulders, and gently fluttering up those knees. You don't have to go a long way, just very gentle, slow, very small movements, or maybe you want to make them bigger. It's up to you. When I do this pose with children, we quite often sing a song, but I'm not going to put you through that agony. And then let's do 5 more. And then come to a comfortable seated position. So this time I'm going to cross my legs, but you might want to take them outstretched in front of you. And then we're going to move on to the fingers, the wrists and the arms now. So taking the arms out to shoulder height, we're going to tuck the thumb in and we're going to make little fists. And then we're going to spread the fingers out and then scrunch and stretch, just like we did with the toes. And again, you can coordinate that with movement of breath. Inhale to squeeze, exhale to stretch. Or you might want to move really quick. That's quite a nice one too. Really good to do if you've been on a keyboard for a long time. And then just come back to the fist. And then we're going to point the knuckles down to the ground. And then we're going to see if we can point the knuckles up to the ceiling, keeping the arms as still as we possibly can. So knuckles down, knuckles up. And again, if you want to coordinate one movement with one inhale, one movement with one exhale, feel free. And then come back to neutral, so your knuckles are pointing forward. And then we're going to do the circles like we did with the ankles. So we're going to keep the arms as still as possible. And we're going to go into either a clockwise or anti-clockwise first, you choose. And then we're going to swap and go in the opposite direction. Maybe you're not as coordinated. Mine are not going the same speed. It's quite interesting. And taking the hands now, just give your shoulders a little rest. And then we're going to bring the shoulders up to the ears. And then we're going to lower the shoulders. This is a really nice one to do with the breath. So as we breathe in, the shoulders come up. And as we breathe out, we lower the shoulders. Breathing in, breathing out. And again, 5 to 10. And make this your last one. And now we're going to move on to the neck. Now we need to be very careful of the neck, so we don't want any pain, anything sharp, electrical in sensation. Be very mindful of the neck, but it's really nice to give the neck a stretch. So we're going to begin by inhaling to prepare, looking forward. And as we exhale, slowly turn the head to gaze over that right shoulder. Just stop when you've gone as far as you comfortably can. Inhale back to centre. Exhale to the opposite direction. And we'll do a few more. So just move to the rhythm of your breath. Relax the shoulders. And then when you're ready, we're going to tuck the chin to the chest and look down. And then we're going to slowly look up to the ceiling. And so we lower. And let's do that with the breath. So as we inhale, we rise up. As we exhale, we will lower down. So this is a nice way to warm the neck up. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring the neck back to a neutral position. So the chin's parallel to the floor. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction. So we're going to go all the way round. So we're going to begin by chin to chest. Right ear towards the right shoulder. Looking up to the ceiling. Left ear to the left shoulder. Chin to chest. And then we're going to reverse. Left ear to left shoulder. Look up. Right ear to right shoulder. Chin to chest. And bring the neck back to neutral. I'm going to work the eye muscles now. Going to give them a little work and then a little rest. So imagine that you've got a huge clock in front of you. Keep your chin parallel to the floor, your shoulders relaxed, only moving your eyes. Look up to 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And let's reverse. 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 12 o'clock. Now look to the right corner of your room, top right corner, and then look to the left lower part of your room. Look to the left upper corner of your room, and to the right lower corner of your room. Bring the gaze back to neutral. Close your eyes. Rub your palms together, making sure they're nice and clean, all sanitized. Create some heat in those hands. And place the hands over your eyes. And open your eyes, but keep those hands and that heat there. And then slowly just remove the hands and allow a little light in at a time. And then just notice how you feel before we move to the next stage. So we're going to go onto our hands and knees now. And we're going to place the wrists under the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips, fingers spread out nice and wide, and the neck is relaxed, gazing down to just in front of the hands. And then we're going to take the tops of the feet down. As we inhale, we lower the belly, so the sitting bones rise, the sternum lifts, and we gaze forward, but the shoulder blades relax down the back into cow pose. As we exhale, we're going to tuck the toes under, move from the middle. So at the same time, the chin comes into the chest. And we get a nice stretch into the upper back. And we're going to do a few more of these, 5 to 10. Inhale and move from the middle. Exhale and reverse the movements of the spine. So a few more of those. Just move into the rhythm of your own breath. Again, it's a really nice one to do. If you've been sat in a chair, slumping, helps to restore the natural curves of your spine. And then let's take a rest in child's pose. Sitting the hips down onto the heels, rest the forehead, hands by the feet or arms out in front. And just notice that breath in the upper ribs and the sides of the ribs and the back. And then inhale back to all fours. And then this time we are going to come into some more quicker movements. A bit of balance and core. So we want the spine in a neutral position, so not in cow, not in cat, but somewhere in between. Imagine that you're trying to pull the navel back towards the spine. And then we're going to bring the right knee in towards the nose. And as we exhale, we're going to come into that cow stretch and just lift the back leg. So as we exhale, the back comes into that cat stretch. And then we take it back. So inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, stretch back. And again, as you guessed it, 5 to 10 on each side. Now you might want to put something under the knees. It can be a little bit uncomfortable on the knees. Let's make this the last one. And back to a neutral position. Rest in your child's pose. Breathing nice and deep. Inhale up to all fours. And let's do the other side. So we're going to bring the left knee towards that nose. And then slowly reach back, coming into that cow pose. Inhale, the spine's in that cat stretch. Exhaling, we're into that cow stretch with the belly. And again, we'll do 5. So you can either point the toe or you can flex the foot. It's up to you, whichever feels right. And then when you're ready, we'll come back to our child's pose, resting the head onto the mat, or maybe even making a little pillow with the hands. I'm going to come into a twisting child's pose now. So we're going to let the forehead come onto the mat, or if you want to lift it up towards a cushion. And then we're going to, oops, I've lost my earphones. I hope you can hear me. We're going to slide the right arm underneath the body and tiptoe those left fingers as far forward as we comfortably can. Going to breathe nice and deep here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're going to slide the left hand back towards the head. And as you inhale, press into that left hand to ease you up. And then come into your child's pose. And we'll slide the left hand underneath this time. We're going to reach the right fingers as far forward as we comfortably can. Soften the shoulders. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide the right hand back. And then ease your way up and come into a nice, gentle, all fours position. So take your time. Spread your fingers out nice and wide. Inhale, soften the belly, cow pose. Exhale, chin to chest, cat pose. And a few more of those. And then this time we're going to twist, but we're going to do a tabletop twist. So we're going to inhale, take the right arm up. And as we exhale, we're going to thread the right arm underneath. Come onto the side of the face. So the hips stay above the knees. And we can walk the left fingertips to the front of the mat. Or we could wrap that left hand around the back, coming towards the right hip. And stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the left hand down to the mat. Inhale, press into that left hand, give that right arm another stretch out. Come back to a neutral spine. And then 3 more cat-cows. And then we're going to inhale the left arm up. Exhale, thread the arm underneath. Ease down onto that left shoulder, the side of the head. Walk those right fingertips forward or wrap the hands around the back. Breathing deep for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that hand to the ground. Inhale all the way back, coming into our tabletop pose. And you guessed it, 3 more cat-cows. And then when you're ready, we're going to come into a seated position. So our focus today is going to be on some twisting movements. Now we've warmed up the shoulders. And the poses of twists are very good for nurturing the internal organs, because as we breathe deeply, they're compressed and then we release, and all that nice fresh flow of blood comes around. But on a mental level, twists are really good. They help us to see the other side, but we always come back to the centre, to centre ourselves. So we're going to begin by sitting up nice and tall. As we inhale, sweep the arms up. As we exhale, take the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the back. And then just slowly turn that head, just like we did in the warm-up. Relax the shoulders. And then we're going to breathe nice and deep here. So as we inhale, we lengthen. And as we exhale, maybe we've got a little more space to twist into. Relax the shoulders. We're going to breathe nice and deep here. And then on an inhale, slowly bring the gaze forward. As you exhale, take the right hand to the left knee and then tuck the chin in and just rock side to side. And just feel that stretch in the upper back. And then as you inhale, sweep the arms over the head. As we exhale, right hand to left knee, left hand behind the back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, slowly twist. And again, be mindful of the neck, relax the shoulders. Breathe in nice and deep. Inhale, slowly bring the gaze forward. Exhale, release the hand to that right knee. Roll side to side. And then we're going to come back to a seated position with the legs out straight. And we're going to come into a twist, a Marityasana C twist. So we bend the right knee and bring that right heel as close as we comfortably can. We take the left hand and wrap it around that right calf. And the right hand comes behind the back, so again, tented fingers or palm flat on the floor. We flex that left foot to keep everything nice and stable, sitting bones grounding down. As we inhale, we root the sitting bones down. As we exhale, we slowly twist and gaze over that right shoulder. Now you can stay here, or inhale, sweep that left arm up. And as you exhale, we take the right elbow on the outside of that right hand. See if you can resist the urge to lean back. See if you can keep upright. Feel that twist in the upper back. 5, 4, breathe. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, slowly gaze back to neutral forward. Exhale, release. Let's just notice how both sides of the body feel before we move to the other side. So we're going to draw the left knee in towards us. Wrap the right hand, squeeze that knee into the midline, flex the right foot, left hand behind the back. Inhale, root the sitting bones down. Exhale, twist from the belly, gaze over the left shoulder. Stay here, or inhale, right arm up. Exhale, that right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Feel that twist in the upper back. Feel all that nice nurturing breath. Moving up and down the spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, back to center. Exhale and release. Now, one of my personal favourites is deer pose. So what we're going to do is we come into a position where we have our right leg bent, right knee to the edge of the mat, and that right foot resting by the top of the left thigh. And that left knee comes to the front of the mat as well. And then this is our deer pose, or sometimes called fallen animal pose. And then we just very slowly with our hands just work our way to as far towards the left side as we comfortably can. And then we just slowly come to rest, and we take our forearms down onto the mat. Make a little pillow with the hands. Relax the hips, relax the knees. Breathing nice and deep. Stay here just a little bit longer. This quietening, twisting forward fold. Your head is probably level with the heart in this position. So it's a nice relaxing pose to be in. And the more you relax here, deeper, all that work deep inside will be taking place in that relaxation zone, central nervous system of rest and digest, repair and renew. See if you can just relax a little more. Preparing now to exit the pose. On a deep breath, you just slowly press into the hands. Keep the chin tucked into the chest and bring the head up last of all. And then we just reverse. So we swap sides, so that left knee is forward, right knee behind. Sitting up nice and tall. We walk our hands as far towards the left side as is comfortable. And then we take our rest. And maybe you'll find one side a little easier than the other. See if you can slacken the jaw. Soften the centre of the tongue. Nothing to do, nowhere to be. observing the rhythm and pace of your breath. And as you inhale, slowly ease your way up. And then we're back to our neutral tabletop pose. Our next pose is going to be sleeping swan, but we're going to add a twist, literally. So we slide the right knee to the right wrist, we tuck the left toes, and as we look behind, that left leg should be in a nice straight line, nice and relaxed. And then we're going to ease down onto the right forearm, but we're going to slide the left arm underneath. So we might have to bring that right forearm underneath a little. Notice how that feels. Feel a little unbalanced. So if you need to just lightly press into those fingertips on the right hand, just for stability, feel that stretch in the right glute. Soften. And release that left hand. Press into the left hand. Come all the way back to your tabletop pose by pressing into the hands. Back to a child's pose. Softening here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale to all fours. Slide the left knee to the left wrist. Come to rest on that right forearm. The left forearm, thread the right arm underneath. Feel that stretch in the left glute. And you might need to press into the fingertips of the left hand, just for a little stability. We're not going to be here for too long. Then release that right hand, press into the right hand. And this time we're going to swing the legs forward. And we're going to come to lie on the back. Our final pose before we relax is called twisted roots. So we take the right leg over the left. Some of you may be able to pop the right foot underneath the left calf. I can't quite do that, so it doesn't matter. So we squeeze at the knees, and then as we inhale, we're just going to lift the hips up and move the hips over to the right side. Slide the arms up to a T position. Just roll those knees over to the left. Now you might want to take the left hand and anchor those legs down. And we're just going to breathe here. Gaze into the ceiling or to the right hand. Feel that twist in the upper back, the middle back, lower back, the hips, the knees, possibly the ankles as well. Should feel really good in the upper back. And inhale, bring the gaze to neutral. And then just allow yourself to ease your way back up to center. Release the legs. Come back to a neutral position, the bridge position. Take that left leg over the right, squeezing at the knees. Inhale, press into the right foot to lift your way up and just hips shift over to the left side. Arms out to a T position. And we'll just roll those twisted roots over to the right side, easing up or to the left hand. Feel that nice spiraling of the spine. Deep breath. One more deep breath. Your deepest breath yet. And inhale the gaze to neutral. And slowly roll back up, nice and gently. Uncurling the legs, bring the knees in. And we're ready to take our rest. I think Frankie's joining me for the relaxation today. So you choose whether you'd like to lie down with your legs out straight, palms facing up, knees off. Or maybe you'd like to bend your knees, take the feet as wide as the mat, knees rolling into the centre. And just allow the whole of your body to let go. Trying to make sure the forehead and the chin are level. And just relax. Let go. And now let's just start to notice our breath. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Slow breath out through the nose or the mouth. And again. One more. Just see if there's any areas of the body that might feel a little tense. Maybe the shoulders, the jaw, maybe the hands or the feet, maybe on the stomach, somewhere else. But on your next exhale, just visualize those areas of tension softening and dissolving, disappearing as you let go. Breathing in, breathing out. Just letting all that tension melt away, to dissolve into the ether. Breathing in, letting go. And just breathing nice and slowly, feeling any tension in the muscles dissolve as the body feels heavy and sinks into the floor. Breathing in, breathing out. Nothing to do, nowhere to be. Breathing in calm, exhaling and letting go, tension, tightness, anything that's no longer helpful. So I'll leave you to breathe in this way for a few moments longer. And then slowly take your biggest breath in now. And your longest breath out. Gently wiggle your toes and your fingers. If it feels nice, you might want to give yourself a nice long, nourishing stretch. Possibly drawing the knees towards you. Giving yourself a nice little hug or a nice little rock side to side. And then just bringing yourself ever so slowly up to a comfortable seated position. Resting the hands gently on the knees or the thighs. Closing your eyes or softening your gaze. Just taking a moment to notice how you feel. Taking an inhale, sweep the arms over the head. Exhale the hands to the heart center. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed that practice. I'll see you again next time. Bye.